Hey there, digital peeps at YouTube's mkgtweety, and before we begin this video, I know I have like red splotchy stuff on my face, so it's just, I get dry skin in those areas, and when I pick them, they just become, it's like wet thing, so please forgive me for that. Don't worry, we're putting stuff on it to make it go away, so just leave it go, you'll be fine, we'll all be fine, and come on here because I'm making a video, and it's 1 year since I've been diagnosed type 2 diabetic and what have I learned and things like that. And we had a doctor's appointment on the 26th of February, and we're going to talk about what happened there and all this kind of stuff. And we also have some family updates that we need to talk about, so we'll get to those first. A couple weeks ago, my mom had her blood drawn. We'll start with my mom first, and we'll go with my dad, and we'll go with me. My mom had her blood drawn to check to see if her cancer had moved. You know, she has multiple myeloma, and it's pretty much hasn't gone anywhere. It's basically stayed the same. Like if this were like perfect, she's like right there, you know, in terms of the levels that we would see. So she's like, if cure was 100%, she's like 99.9. Right. There's still that 1% that's just, right. So, the phlebotomist came to the house, and he works with the hospital, and his name's Nick, and he travels around, he takes people's blood and all this kind of stuff. And he took my mom's blood, took a urine sample, and then that got sent off to the lab, and so we're going to know in a few weeks what is going on with my mom. When I know the update, I'll put an update to it in the box below. So there you go. Now my mom she's okay. I know she had her yearly because me and my mom have the same primary care physician, PCP. And I think they're changing one of her meds. You know, my mom has a hard time sleeping sometimes because of the pain. Like your knees are like this, hers are like this, and you're wondering how she's still walking, talking, and standing. She was supposed to get those gel shots in her knees, but because she can't get down the stairs, she can't go to the doctors and have them, even though insurance has approved of them and all that. And it was going to provide like 6 months of cushioning for her knee. Well, she can't do that because she's basically stuck upstairs in her room because of that. We found a company that she has a hard time getting down the stairs. And we found a company that does like narrow stair lifts. But because, well, and guess how much it costs? Like $15,000. I'm like, who has $15,000 nowadays? Who has $10,000 nowadays? And who has $1,000 nowadays? It is quite. So, uh, you know, just trying to figure out how we're going to pay for it all. Um, my mom's upstairs sleeping or trying to sleep. You know, sometimes she'll wake up and have to go to the bathroom, and then it's hard for her to go back to sleep because she was sleeping so good, and you know, and if she didn't take all her medicine that day, it makes her crappy, cranky, and just whatever, and all this kind of stuff. But um, so she's doing okay considering the circumstances and all that. I help her out a lot. As you know, I'm like one of her caregivers. You know, I help a lot and all this kind of stuff. And then we'll get on to my dad now. So, like I said, when I know what her blood tests will show, um, you know, because my mom had smoldering myeloma, which is 60% of people that get it say smoldering doesn't do anything in the body. She had it for like 10, 15 years before it roared its ugly little head to the treatable phase, as we call it. So, and I know in August of last year it was a year since she got diagnosed, and in September of last year it's a year since she's been in treatment. So, now we'll get on to my dad. My dad also has type 2 diabetes like me. He also has spinal stenosis that he's dealing with. He like went to bed, woke up the next morning, and there it was. So this was just something that just happened to him. It wasn't, you know. Um, Now, April 24th, he is going to get his back surgery for his spinal stenosis. It's 4-hour surgery, 4 days in the hospital. This is all like near his tailbone, and he has mini bone spurs there, and he has to get some screws put in. So, right. And then, his birthday, his 75th birthday this year, that he's having is April 26th is his birthday. My birthday is on April 21st. And this year, it's the day after Easter, 2025. And so I'll be turning the big 4 too. I know I don't look like I'm 4. I said 3. 4 2. I know I don't look like I am 42, but I am. I know I look young for my age. I know there are people who look like that, so there you go. So now, my dad's doing well. I know tomorrow or today, I'm filming this at 3:42 in the morning, and it's March 24th of 2025. So the wee hours of the 24th of March. Me and my dad at 1:30 p.m. we're gonna get our blood drawn because I have to have a fasting blood test like my dad. Doc wanted a fasting blood test for me, and we'll get into that why in just a minute. And my dad gets one every 3 months to check his A1Cs and all that stuff. So I figured, well, we'll just, we'll buddy together kind of thing. So right now I'm currently fasting, which means I can't eat anything after 11 or 12 p.m. at night. And so, yeah. Is it hard? Yeah. All I can have is just water. You can see bubble, my bubble tumbler over there filled with water. So that's what I've been drinking. I mean, I had a bubbly with my dinner. Bubbly lime. It tastes like Sprite without the sweetener in it. So, anyway. Uh, so my dad's doing okay. He's making all his pre-op appointments. Just like you call, and it's like, well, they're not in the office, and it's like, well, when do you have to call them? And it's just, yeah. And his heart cath thing, he did wonderful from that. When they were checking, when he had his chemical stress test and all this kind of stuff, because he had to have it because, you know, anesthesia and heart don't mix when you have heart problems. And so, they said it's narrow. He had to have a heart cath thing. It's narrow, but it's not narrow enough to cause any kind of complications or see if we need to explore things further, kind of a thing. So he's doing fine on that front. He had it done like in January. And then, so now on the 24th of April, which is coming up which is like about a month from now, he's going to have his surgery done. Like I said, it's 4 hours and it's 4 days in the hospital. So I'll let you know how he comes from that and all this kind of stuff. Um, and so yeah, so my dad's doing well. Like when he stands up, he walks like a crotchety old drunk man, and he has like a cane to help him balance and all this kind of stuff. So hopefully after the surgery, he won't need a cane anymore and all this kind of stuff. So yeah. So now we'll get on to me, the reason why you're watching this video, because you come to see the entertainment, who's me. If you like what you see and what I do, you can hit the subscribe button, and if you really like it, you can hit the thumbs up button. I have lots of. If you want to follow me on my second channel, because I have a second channel, it's on my Instagram, because I post weekly vlogs up there and stuff, and hauls and things like that, including my photos. It's instagram.com/mkgtweety. I have a Pinterest, Tumblr, Wattpad, Twitter, X, Blue Sky, Instagram, all under the moniker mkgtweety. all my social will be linked in the description box below. And then here at YouTube is mkgtweety, and there's a reason for that. Uh, you know, I had a channel before this one. It was just titled mkgtweety, and I had done something stupid to where I lost that channel, which I didn't even know what I was doing was like stupid, and I didn't know it was like I was breaking the rules kind of thing. And I thought, we'd terminate your channel. I was like, oh, so mad, so mad. But there's videos linking to its first two videos on his channel, so everything's linked in the description box below. Like I said, I'll make an update once I know what's going on with my mom's blood and her cancer and all that kind of stuff. So there you go. So last year is when I got diagnosed. It was around February. It was like February 26th, the same time as I went to the doctors this time around. And my mom had made me go to. We'll have to catch you up on the video to know where we're leading to at this point. So I had been to the doctors last year in like 3 or 4 years, and mom was like, "You're going whether you like it or not," kind of thing. And this was when I was 41. I had turned 40 the previous year, and when I'd gone to the doctors, she goes, "Well, I heard you had a big birthday last year. You know what that means?" And I go, "Well, yeah. I got to get the, bubble squished and squashed." And it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be when I had it done. Um, they were very kind, very welcome, very accepting because, well, if you didn't know, or if you've been living on a rock, since 87, and this is a little bit of history of me, so you have to know why we're getting to this point, at this point in the story. Since 87, I got diagnosed as with ADHD. I'm 2 years learning disabled. I actually got held back in kindergarten because they thought I wasn't learning enough. My mom thought it was the best decision she ever made. My IQ 70. Like I said, I'm 2 years learning disabled. And on March 12th of 2018, I got diagnosed as a high-functioning autistic. And it was like a whoa moment in my life because, you hear other people getting, I know I don't look like anything's wrong with me, but trust me, I have a little bit of social problems. I have more emotional than social issues, kind of thing. Um, and we went to a doctor that diagnoses and specializes in treating people that have autism. And she said, I'm on the spectrum. She has what I would consider, or what she considers, high functioning autism. And she was a heavy accented German doctor and said this, and it was just like, whoa. And experts were telling my mom and dad that it's ADD, it's ADD, it's ADHD. And mom's like, no, there's something more to my kid. Trust me, my mom's like my biggest mama bear, and she has a wonderful instincts about me. Like, my mother will look at me and go, "Oh, you're getting your period in 3 days." And it's just like, and then like 3 days later, it's like I go to the bathroom and it's like, oh, why does my mom have to be right? And then my mom would call from work. My mom retired from doing hair in September of 21. She was a hairdresser at that point since 75. Right out of high school, she went into beauty school. Graduated actually 6 months early. And uh, she was doing hair up until September 21. She had an emergency appendectomy, which means she had to have her appendix taken out. And she just decided to retire. She's like, I had enough. I can't do salon settings no more. So, um, and when you know, kind of thing. And anyway, so and I said to the ladies at the office when I was getting women, I said, look, I have autism. When I get stressed or scared or anything kind of wakes me out a little bit, I will either cry, I'll get nervous, I'll just barf, I'll just do something. And they're like, sure, that's not a problem. We'll let them know. And a multiple technician named Jerry took very good care of me. She explained everything that she was doing and put me roidies with everything. Squeezing just a little too hard, digital peeps, but results are I am cancer free. I know that when you get a diagnosis of breast cancer, just, it just, it can be devastating for people. And then also in the state of Pennsylvania, I live like 30 minutes outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, as to where you don't need to know. But in the state of Pennsylvania, they have to tell you in the letter that they send you how dense your breasts are. Because a lot of times when you have dense breasts, it makes it very hard to see things, see cancers and things like that. So I only have fatty deposits everywhere, here and there in my breast, so that's wonderful. I don't, because my mother has a little bit of dense breasts, and I thought, okay, well, if she has them, then I must have them because of the genes and all this kind of lovely stuff. Nope, I am cancer free. I will have another one on May 7th that I scheduled for. I did it online, which is very easy to do. I would prefer to schedule online because then that way you're not dealing with people on the phone and waiting and all this kind of stuff. So I did it right online, super easy, super convenient. So if you can do that, if you can have your yearly, if I can have my milligrams, you can have your yearly milligrams. Because prevention is the best ounce of medicine, and we want to catch things when they're early. I don't have a family history of cancer, and I don't have cancer at the moment, so yay. And then I had to have, she goes, I wanted like a blood test. And I said, okay, fasting blood test. And that was when we got the results back few days later. And also at the appointment, my BP was high. And she said, well, you're going to come back in a few weeks. And if it's still high, then we're going to talk pills at that point. And I said, okay. And so when I got the results back of my blood test, I get a phone call from the doctor's office. And they said, oh, you have type 2 diabetes. And I literally just was crying, sobbing. I mean, I was almost in hysterics at this point because it's like, what, me? Like, no, that's something my dad has. mkgtweety does not have, And it really rocked my world, to be honest with you. It really, like, shook me up. I took a blood test, and the doctor would wake my ass up, basically. I had always been one of those people that were fat and happy, didn't really care what anybody thought, all this kind of stuff. And, I was like, like, screw you, literally, like, kick fingers and all this kind of stuff. Like I could flip you the bird. I'm like, don't make fun of me. Don't, I know I'm fat. Shut up. Just leave me alone. Just all this kind of stuff. And, I had two family members specifically. Now, my mom's the oldest out of 6 kids. Okay, she's the oldest out of everybody, and she's the oldest out of the 3 girls. There was 3 girls and 3 boys in the family. Goes my mom, who's named Joyce, and then it goes, the next oldest after my mom is my Uncle Johnny, and he's not only my uncle, but he is my godfather. And then it goes my Aunt Janet, my mom's middle sister, who is one of the aunts we'll be talking about in this little thingy in a second. And then my mom's middle brother, my Uncle Joey, who full name Joseph, but went by Joe or Joey. I knew him as my Uncle Joey, and he passed away a couple of years ago of a stroke, complications of a stroke that he had. He was one of those guys that like didn't do what the doctor said. He was stubborn like his dad was, my pap, my mom's father. He just wouldn't do anything. Oh, I don't need that shit. That kind of thing. And this is what happens when you don't do what the doctor says. You end up with a stroke, and you end up dying from that stroke. I think he also developed sepsis as well, and that's just infection in your blood and all this kind of stuff. And it was just, yeah. So he passed away a few years ago, a few weeks before my birthday. So, yeah. And then it goes my mom's baby sister, who's not only my auntie, but my godmother, my Aunt Jean, and then my mom's baby brother, my Uncle Jason. And so my Aunt Janet, my Aunt Jean, they would like every so often make snide comments, and they would just be like, why is she fat? She needs to lose weight, blah, blah, blah. And my mother would go to them and say, don't make fun of her, she don't need it. She's fine, leave her alone, that kind of thing. My mom was like, my mom, she stuck up for me and all this kind of stuff. They're just very critical of, and you don't make fun of your niece that way. You just don't. If you have a problem with how I look, why don't you say it to my face? Why do you have to be behind my back saying all this? It's like, you're supposed to love me for who and what I am. So, that kind of stuff. And, um, I'm watching something here and I have to pause it because, okay, alright. My dad's a drummer and that's one of his instruments, and he always wants to know when we're watching his PBS specials with bands and stuff, who's playing drums. So I had to pause it so I remember who the drummer is for my dad. Anyway, and it just, my dad would so often say something, and I always felt like, well, it feels like you're putting me down. You feel like I'm not good enough, and all this kind of stuff. You're supposed to love me who I am. And my dad's like, but I want you happy and healthy and all that. And I was happy, but no, I was not healthy. And I walked around with no signs or symptoms of this at all. The doctor said you'd be surprised how many people walking around with don't even know that they have anything going on wrong. And she's surprised that I don't have anything going on. And so, when I was at the doctor's, and I'm going to show you what I have to do in the mornings now. So while I was at the doctor's, this was like a few days after the blood test, right? They give me this nice little, it is a it's a one-touch Veroflex, very good meter. It does come with an app, but I don't use the app. And so we take the lancet thingy off of this. This is what the actual meter looks like. You take this part off, you set that down, and then this gets set down. Okay. And we're going to take an alcohol wipe. And we're going to take, this is a lancet. And what it does is it'll snap here into place. Okay. And we grab like a tissue or a Kleenex. Excuse me, a paper toweling, a napkin, something like that. And these are my test strips. That's what they look like. Now, where it's kind of a little bit darker, right up in here, that's where the blood goes. Okay. And so I'm a better righty than a lefty, so I do everything with my left hand, and it has to be a different finger every day. And so what you do is you take one of these. These came from Sam's Club, and you sit there and you wipe off a finger. Okay, because I do like the whole like this part of the finger. So we're gonna do that. Then when we wiped it off, we kind of let it dry for a second. Then you take this with the lancet in it, and before you even wipe, we take off that little, you saw a little covering on the needle, and it just feels like if someone was going boop, like a little like needle prick, and then you do that, and you press, you make sure there's some blood coming out, and then you wipe it off on a napkin or whatever you have, and then you do it again, and you put the strip up in here, you can see, and it'll, once it's in there, it recognizes there's a strip in there, and you'll see it flashing. Um, it's like a little droplet, and you just take that and you put it there, and then you wait. It goes 3, 2, 1, and you get a number, and you take that number and you put it on a calendar, a printed out calendar that you made on your PC, and that gives you what your morning number is. And I try very hard to stay within good ranges, and this also has, as you can see on the back, blue means you're very low. Green means you're in the zone, meaning you're where you're supposed to be. You're in a number that's okay, acceptable. And red means you're high. So, okay. I'm going to put this back in here. Sorry, that is my clock, digital peeps. It's 4 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast in southwestern Pennsylvania. I live 30 minutes, like I said, I live 30 minutes outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's where you don't need to know. That's where I generally live at. Okay. As you see, this is my little carrying case. I bought it at Walmart. So it's girly. It's like me. Okay. And then it also has like a rainbow zipper part, as you can see. So I love it. We love anything rainbow and girly and that kind of stuff. Okay, so then once I take my blood, we take 3 pills. Well, it's 4 pills total every day. One of them I take twice a day. But when you first wake up, you have to take 3 pills in the morning. This is my rainbow pill caddy. I got this off of Amazon. Yes, it came like that, but that's okay because it's a corner and nobody's going to see it. And I had to redo all of the lettering for it because if you look on the back, some of the lettering has kind of rubbed off and all that kind of stuff, so I did that. So I'll show you here. So we open this up, okay, like this. Okay, now because it's technically Monday, I'll show you this. You can see my pills in the back there. This is my metformin pill, and this is what I take every morning. It's my sugar pill. It's Methan. When I started, I was on 500 milligrams of regular metformin, and she had bumped me up when I had gone back in 3 months after that first initial visit. She's like, let's put you on 1,000 milligrams. That'll help bring down A1C and stuff. So I'm like, okay. And my BP was high, and so, and then, this is my BP pill here. It kind of, there it is. And this is the newest pill I'm taking, right here. My little Lipitor right there. And I take right after my blood, I will take, it used to be just take the BP pill and then go make breakfast. Um, and then when I was taking my metformin pill, my 1,000 milligrams, when I would take the second pill in the evening, meaning the pill that I would take when I eat my dinner, because I only eat breakfast and dinner, I go like 6 hours in between pills and all that. Um, okay. Um, now where's my train of thought? Okay. I would have like a bit of the ass cannon, if you will. I would eat, and then maybe like 2 3 hours after I'd have that second pill, it'd make me kind of a little bit dizzy, ass cannon. And I brought this up to the doctor when I went. This is when I went after the second visit, which was 3 months after the first visit. Now it's you know 3 months later, and I'm like, Doc, this is what's going on. And she goes, okay, well, I'll put you on slow release form of metformin. So it's 500 milligrams of slow release. So I'm actually taking like 1,000 milligrams a day of it. And as you can see, I have to get more metformin tomorrow because I ran out. So, and this here is my BP pill and my little pill thing. And this is my Lipitor. I'm going to take my 10 milligrams of Lipitor. And there's nothing in my metformin because I'm out. So, now there we go. Um, and so, she's like, okay. And ever since I've been taking the 500 milligram slow release, I'll occasionally get the runs per se with that pill, but not as bad as I was getting when I was all the time on that 1,000 milligram of metformin. So, and I've had much better poopage, as I should say. I know that's gross, but yeah, much better poopage. And then after the last time I'd seen her, and I think it was around in August, 6 months after that, I was to see her again. And I thought, well, okay, that's when my yearly physical is. So, okay. And my A1C, when I first started a year ago, was like 9.6 or something like that. I mean, that's high. They want you to be under 7, like you see in the commercials and all that. And, uh, and so, we've been exercising. We've been, what have I learned? Well, I learned a lot about myself. I haven't had a drop of pop in a year since I started on this journey. I will have the occasional, like, Coke before I started on this journey. I can't have pop anymore. I don't like the taste of diet. My dad likes diet pop. I don't. So we switched to bubbly lime, and that's because it tastes like Sprite without the sweetener in it. And I'll have regular bubbly if I can't find the lime. So there you go. Um, we have switched from white rice to brown. I mean, I've had uh, what's the whole wheat bread all the time, but now it's like I gotta have it. I mean, I've stayed away from all the white stuff as best I can. I haven't had white rice in like a year. I had brown rice. I had just actually had it today. We made some homemade beef and broccoli for dinner. I had like these steakums and I was using them in like it's a daddy helped me kind of make that and you know. So I will have brown rice with whatever I'm having. And they say brown rice is more better for you. They say sweet potatoes are better for diabetics than regular potatoes. I'm not a sweet potato fan. But I will have that small little baked potato every so often, once in a while with my meals. I try, or if it's something that I can make with cauliflower rice or mashed cauliflower instead of having a mashed potato, I will do that too because it's a vegetable and I love cauliflower anyway. Um, I learned the importance of exercise and how that's good. I do this Leslie Sansone walking home program. I do it. It's 3 miles, and it's great. And I went from a 3X, that was the current size I was when I first initially went to the doctors, and I dropped 2 dress sizes. Now I'm at a 1X, and it's fabulous and great. And I look better. I'm feeling better. When I started losing weight, I noticed like my 3X pants were just like dropping off of me like a fly. And it's like I actually have to do these pants here that I'm currently wearing. I have to do this because it's so loose on me. You know, um, probably lost, oh, what should I lose? I probably lost like 20, maybe 25 pounds so far. Something of that nature. I'm not exactly sure because that doesn't, I love when clothes fit better and I feel better. Um, I learned how to make things. I've always, especially with my dad, I try to make things a little healthier and all that. But we learned that we can have our favorite foods. It's just we have to have them a different way. So, like, if I'm gonna have like a big can of SpaghettiOs, what I'll do is I'll have half the can, and I'll usually have a salad or a vegetable with it. So it's not like I'm giving up because I would used to eat the whole big can of SpaghettiOs and just like you know and thought, I'm so hungry, I'm going to eat the whole can. And I learned that it's not always good for you people with diabetics. And I have to have the meatballs with my SpaghettiOs. So if I'm going to have my SpaghettiOs as a dinner one night, I'm not going to have it like all the time, but if I'm going to have it like at one point, I'm going to have like half a can with meatballs in it. And I'm going to have a salad or a vegetable with it. And I would eat like 2 cans of like Chef Boyardee beefaroni because I was so hungry, never really thinking that, oh my god, the carbs I was putting into my body, you know? And now we have a can with a vegetable or a salad. Or we'll have like soup like every single morning. So after we do our blood and we've taken our BP pill at this point, we would always have oatmeal and something else. I've had oatmeal every day for a single year and it's brought my cholesterol down like you cannot believe. And I have it with a pinch of stevia and a pinch of brown sugar. And I've also been liking in there some cinnamon toast crunch. tofu cereal because it kind of acts like a crouton in there. And the cinnamon is also good for regulating blood sugars and stuff. So, yeah. It tastes fantastic, but without it, it's still good too. And I make my oatmeal with milk. I love my quick oats. I don't like old-fashioned oats. The texture of them is not, I don't like it in my mouth as much as the quick oats. So, and then, we store that, we eat that, and then we have something else. So, something else could be anything we had left over from dinner. We could have a soup. So, I can have like a chicken noodle soup or something like that. And then I usually like to take my blood around like noon, 1. And then like 3, we'll have like a little teeny snack. So, like, I might have like 4 cookies and a teeny little glass of milk. That's portion control. And then we'll eat dinner, say like 6, 7 o'clock at night, 7:30. And we'll have a nice, very healthy dinner. Um, and then once that, we'll have like a dessert. Because, diabetics can't have dessert. It's just you gotta watch how, like, if I bought one of those chocolate silk pies from me calendars in the freezer section, I'll just have a piece. Me, I would have like 3 pieces of that pie because it was so delicious. And it's like, no, no, no. You have your small little sweet treat after dinner. You don't have anything else after that. It was very easy to switch to diet iced tea. At first, when you have diet stuff, it just, but I have diet lemonade. It's Crystal Light. I have Crystal Light iced tea at times. I have like jugs of iced tea in my house because I stuck up so heavily. And I'll have a glass or 2 glasses at dinner, and that's the only time I will have iced tea. Sometimes we'll have our bubbly, if you want to. I'll have a V8 in the mornings with my breakfast because there's like 12 carbs. I love V8. If I want chocolate milk, I'll have that, say, either after dinner or with my breakfast. If I want, say, like a hot chocolate, that would probably be something I'll have with my breakfast or after dinner. If I want to have like a milkshake, generally have that after dinner. So we basically watch. Like, we've been like really like, my dad's seen changes, my mom's seen changes. They're happy with how I've handled this. At first it was, but now we picked ourselves off the ground and we've pulled ourselves up and we've made changes that we're sticking with and everything. And everything's been fine. My numbers have been doing great in the mornings and all this kind of stuff. And so now we get to, then she said, well, because you are diabetic now, you have to have a diabetic retina scan. Because diabetes can affect the eye. And I come with an eye history, there's the PEEPS. I had crossed eyes when I was 6 years old. And I had to wear glasses because of it. It's a formulazy eye, if I'm correct. Don't quote me on that. But, and I had surgery to correct it. And when I was in about 7th grade, I stopped wearing, like, normal glasses. And I had, like, just, like, prescription reading glasses on and stuff. And I had that until I left high school. And now I don't need glasses, so I have 20/20 vision. So I can see perfectly. And what they do is they put you in a dark room where the machine is. So they leave you in there, and so they can dilate your eye. They don't need to do drops. I had to have drops when I would go to the eye doctor back in the day. And I hated that because I'm walking down the street, and it's just like, oh, so blinded by the light. And it was me trying to put on my mom's prescription sunglasses because she's like, oh, and I can't see out of them because it's my mom's script, but at least trying to keep my eyeballs from, I actually had 2 eye surgeries because the first one, they thought, okay, let's see how she does with the first one, and if we have to go back, we go back, and they had to go back in and fix and all this kind of stuff. And if you ask me what my favorite pair of glasses were, it's these turquoise tortoiseshell glasses. Yeah, I love those. And then I had like round bifocals, cosmetically designed so I could see out of them, but you couldn't tell I had bifocals on and stuff. And anyway, so I don't need glasses anymore. So, but they still have to check you because diabetes can affect your retinas, and the blood sugar affects all that and all that. My dad has it done once a year. I had it done. It's fairly easy, fairly painless. It just kind of felt like if someone took a flashlight and went, turned it on, and then turned it right back off. Like, kind of thing. So there you go. And then that report gets sent over to the doctors, and then if anything were to happen, then we can go ahead and make changes and all this kind of stuff. But I'm going to schedule mine for June because my dad's going to have his back surgery and he can't drive for about a month. So we want to do it when he's able to drive me to the place where I have it done. So, and it's right near me. It's like the next town over kind of thing. Is where it's at. And then, so I go, now we come back 6 months later. It's February 26th, and I go to the doctor's. And backing up to a year, once I get to, my BP pill was at 50 milligrams. And, because then I didn't have to go, because when I initially had my blood work drawn, she goes, well, let's check your BP while we're here and all this kind of stuff, and you won't have to come in again and all this kind of stuff. And that was when she puts me on a pill. It's 50 milligrams. It is LOSARTAN potassium. And she starts me on a 50, and then the next time when I go see her 3 months later, she goes, it's still a little high. Let's put you on 100 milligrams, and it's a BP pill made for diabetics. And so now I'm taking that 100 milligrams. I'm still taking it to this day, so that pill has not changed. Once I went to 100, I stayed on 100 milligrams. And when my BP was high when I started at the doctor's on the 26th of February of this year. And by the end of the appointment, it was coming down. So it was just a high anxiety of docs and all that. It's something over 88, and it's still a little high, so she wants to keep me on it. And then she said because of the history on both sides of the family, the heart issues and what I have, and my dad and all that, she wants me on my Lipitor. She put me on Lipitor. And she said we had talked about me last year putting me on that at some point if we had to. And I said, sure, fine, whatever. So I take that 10 little, it looks like a football, little teeny football if you squashed it flat. And so that's 10 milligrams. I take of that. And so now every morning after I prick my fingers, I take my BP pill, I take my Lipitor pill, I go and make my breakfast, so I make my oatmeal, make something else, and then I'll sit down, take my metformin pill with my water, and I'll eat my breakfast. Fine after that, and then usually like right after breakfast or around 3 o'clock or so, I'll have a little snack. And that's kind of like my dessert after breakfast, basically. And then once that's over, and then I'll have dinner. Like I said, 6, 7 o'clock, 7:30 at night. And we watch what we eat. And then after dinner, we'll have my little sweet treat. And while I'm having dinner, I will have my glass or two of iced tea. And then after that, after dinner, I'll have nothing but water. And I won't have anything else the rest of the night. Maybe the occasional cheese doodle here and there. But other than that, we watch the snacking and all that. And then when the morning comes again, we start all over again. We have to prick our finger and do everything. And, pricking your finger, I thought it was going to be hard, but it isn't. It just feels like if someone took a sewing needle and just went boop, boop. And there were times when I pricked it and I go, ow. I'm still, after a year, it doesn't get any easier. But, it's okay. I'm becoming used to it. But it's just like, I still hate to do it. But, we all gotta do it. We all gotta, And and all this kind of stuff. I have learned that the more you exercise, the better, your numbers get. And all this kind of stuff. So, we've just made some very good, wonderful, positive changes, and they have paid off. Diabetes doesn't have to be a death sentence. Uh, it can be a very manageable, treatable condition, and all this kind of stuff. And if I hadn't gone to the doctors, I probably would still be getting weight, never knowing what was, when I started on the journey, I was 337 number-wise. That's high digital beams. That's too high. We'd like you to be, somewhere at 100 in the mornings, but anywhere in the green zone, as I call it. Sometimes, most of the time, I'm like 124, or I'm like 140. It can fluctuate, kind of thing. But as long as I'm in the green zone, I'm good to go. Let's see what else. And so that's it. And then that's what we have to do to keep ourselves healthy. I just, you know, you think you can let it be a death sentence, and it doesn't have to be. It's just, I'm very it's just like, all right, I know everything you have to do to be healthy. And I was always like thinner in high school, but then after high school, you start gaining weight, and, now I understand that I actually had a medical condition that was causing me to gain weight. Never thinking that what I was eating was affecting my body. Like I said, I was fat and happy. It just, and it just, yeah. hmm And it just, if you've been diagnosed with type 2, it's not the end of the world. There are plenty of, you can go online, you can read all kinds of things to do for it. Just stay away from the white stuff, as I call it. You can have that baked potato every once in a while, it's not going to hurt you. You can have that spaghetti and meatballs every once in a while, it's not going to hurt you. Like, I'll have like 3 pieces of pizza and maybe a salad, because I'm having something unhealthy with something healthy. But it just, yeah, it is what it is. But I thank you for allowing me, and then I haven't lost any more weight. I think I lost maybe, 3 pounds probably since I last saw the doctor. So when I went this time around, I probably lost maybe, 3 pounds at the most, you know, um, since I'd last seen her before this time. And it was fine. She's like, I'm going to put you on 10 milligrams of Lipitor. And she goes, that'll help. It'll protect the heart because diabetes can also affect the heart, stuff like that. And I've been fine with it. I haven't had no side effects on this Lipitor pill. It's great. It's fine. So there we go. So that's the only new change that we've gotten to our meds. And now I take 3 meds every day. Well, technically 4 if you count my second metformin pill of the day. So I take 2 metformins every day, 500 milligrams. And then we take our 10 milligrams of Lipitor and 100 milligrams of my BP pill every morning. And I can take my Lipitor with or without food. So there we go. So I thank you for listening to Life Update, what I've learned in a year, what's going on with the fam. So I thank you very, very much. I'll see you next time, digital peeps. I love you. Take care. Bye. Lemon Lippy. Mwah.